Hi, my name is Tracy Bowman, and I'm here today to talk to you about the effects of violent video games on young teenagers. First, my opinion on video games was the complete opposite. I believe that violent video games had a negative effect on children, which they do, but they don't. There's two sides of the story, and I can't take a side. There is more research based on it having a negative effect on teenagers, though. It shows that violent video games alone are not enough to cause teenagers to act violently. Teen violence is a result of multiple things, such as abuse, kids being abused by parents or friends. If they're abused and they're hurt, then they're going to want to hurt others. Maybe drugs, even. Drugs can act people to act unlike themselves, steal from people, maybe hurt other people just to get money to get drugs. And if they play violent video games, then that's just going to increase that. Mental illnesses, if a person with a mental illness is playing a video game, they can't comprehend what's right and what's wrong, and they don't understand that that's fantasy, that's not real, and that you shouldn't act violently in real life. They don't understand that like we do. Bad influences, they have someone that acts violently, that plays violent video games, and they say, hey, it's okay to do that in real life. You know, they could be joking, but you know, if they don't tell them that they're joking and that they're not being serious, and that person doesn't know. And then if they see that other person doing things that they've seen through video games, then they could do that as well. Neglect, you know, they see what they play. And if they're being neglected and ignored, and they look back and they think about that time that they played video games, and they play those violent video games too long for an extended period of time, then it starts to get to them. And they, you know, if they're not really in reality as much as they are in their fantasy world, then they're going to think, hey, 24/7, you know, I'm there, I'm shooting people, I'm cutting people's heads off, you know. They're going to think that that stuff's normal after a while, after playing it too long. And research shows that extended period of playtime on these violent video games causes children to be more aggressive, more confrontational, they fight, and it also causes a decline in school activities. Based on researchers Ferguson and Olson, their research shows that violent video games do not cause teens to act violently. Violent TV is more passive, whereas video games are more active. They're more active in violence, in committing violence. But playing video games isn't all bad. You know, some of it's good. It could be an outlet for them. Say they're mad at somebody and they really want to hit somebody or shoot somebody like they do in the video games, then they can just get on that video game and shoot some fake person and pretend it's them. You know, like if you're playing soccer and you're kicking a soccer ball, you just imagine that it's that person. Well, on video games, you would just shoot or whatever and imagine that it's that person instead of actually doing it. It improves their dexterity and computer literacy, and you know, it could be a good thing because of that. You know, they learn new things. But I mean, it also depends on the game they're playing, I guess, what they learn, and they still learn, whether it's violent or not. They learn. They learn how to work the remote, and they learn how to search things and so forth. There's a chart that I found from 1996 to 2004. It's a U.S. chart showing the decrease of violence versus the increase of games. And that right there shows you that alone, that Violent video games are not enough alone to cause violent acts, unless maybe they've played for an extended period of time. Does anybody have any questions that they want to ask, or concerns or comments that they want to make? Well, I want to thank you all for listening and being such a great audience. You did really well, and I know sometimes I tend to ramble on. So thank you for being so patient with me, and I hope to see you again. Have a good one.